Hello everyone, I'm Colin Cadet. I'm doing something today I almost never do. I've got a little bit of a hodgepodge of things that I've discovered or things that people have sent me that I thought were kind of interesting. Some tool accessory things for the workshop. None of this is sponsored. I went out and purchased or found all of these things myself. I just thought they're interesting things that you might be able to get some use from. Most of them are not available. I don't think any of them are available on Amazon. But I'll put some links in the description box and of course the article on Woodwork Web, and you'll be able to go and search these out yourself if you have any interest in them. So let's have a look at some of these. My friend Michael suggested a couple items that he thought I might be interested, and I was. The first one I'm going to show you is a tape, and it's called a blind man's tape. Nothing unusual about that. Basically, a blind man's tape has very big numbers, so it's easy to read. If you have to put your glasses on to read a tape, this might be the perfect tape for you. If you look carefully at the markings, you'll notice they're a teardrop shape where they're big in the middle, but they go right down to the edge of a very fine point. And this tape has eighths on the bottom and 16ths of an inch on the bottom and a 32nd of an inch on the top. So it's very accurate and it's really easy to use. And what I really like, it's available in left and right hand. I know some of you are wondering what the difference in tapes that I'm talking about is. Because I'm right-handed, I pick up a pencil in my right hand, which means I pick up the tape in my left hand. And when you measure anything, of course, the numbers are upside down. That's pretty normal because most tapes, that's what they look like. But for me, when I see numbers upside down, for years and years, I've been making mistakes because for something in my brain doesn't record right, and I end up making marking errors. And I've done that for years until somebody suggested one day that you can actually buy tape measures where when you put it in your left hand, the numbers are the right way up. Sometimes they call these left-hand tapes. The better way is reading right to left compared to this tape measure, which reads left to right. So when I first discovered this tape, and of course I purchased one right away, and I instantly quit making mistakes. And now I never measure twice and mark once. I measure once and mark once. I almost never make mistakes with this, and it's just made a whole difference in my woodworking. So that's what I like about this kind of tape, a 12-footer and fine markings, and you can get it reading left to right or right to left. The next thing I want to show you is something called a tape tip. And basically, you can see there's a couple of magnets on the top, a couple or one underneath. And you also notice there's a V groove here and another one here. There's a point there and another point there, and all those are parts of what this little tape tip can do. So basically you can put it on your tape and it magnetizes, and it doesn't come off because it holds firmly. And even if you're just measuring a distance, because there's weight on the end, it doesn't tend to flip off. So it's nice that way. But if you're making furniture, boxes, anything like that, and you want to make sure that you're square, there's all sorts of ways that you can use this to measure. You can use the inside to check your distances, or if you want to, maybe you need to measure distances there, because these are known distances from here to here and from there to there. So you can go inside, you can go outside, whatever it is that you want to do, you can mark that all sorts of different ways, and you can even turn this around so that if you need to measure a distance this way, you can do that as well. Maybe you're doing a table leg, for example, and you want to make sure that you're square. You can put that right up against the leg and measure your other leg on the other side. And of course, we always want things to be square because that's when things line up. When things are not square, that's when we have to start making custom cuts, and that takes a lot more time in fitting. So squareness in woodworking is a really good thing. So there's a couple of items that you may be interested in having a look at. For those of you who've been following me for a few years, you know that I often use this Osmo product and I really like it. but it has problems, and one of them is that once it gets down in the can, it starts forming a skin. What I've often done is I will take it and put it into a glass jar, and it's okay for a little while, but again, once it gets down a bit more, it starts forming a skin. Now, I've tried spraying boron gas into it, and you know what? That doesn't work. More recently, I tried to put this Osmo into just an old water bottle. I just squeeze it down, squeeze the air out of it, and that seems to be working good because it doesn't form a skin anywhere, and it's easy to take apart, except the lids kind of get stuck on there. But look at what I just found recently. This little bag, it's called a stop loss bag, and you can even put the date and the product that's in there. It comes with 2 lids, which is really nice, and a couple of adapters, because you'll need some kind of a funnel to fill it up with. And I haven't used it yet. Obviously, I'm looking really forward to it, because the problem with these is that when you keep squeezing these, eventually this plastic is going to break because it's not used to doing that. So that might be another thing. If you want to save some money, especially with some of these really expensive products, I'm really looking forward to using this little thing. Well, I bet many of you didn't know that Coleman made woodworking tools. Well, actually they don't. And this was a thrift store find, and I even left the label on for you. I paid $5.99, but if you look here, you'll see there's a yellow tag, and that meant everything was half price. So I actually paid $3 for this. Now, what this is a pump for blowing up an air mattress. Now, you might wonder why I picked this up. When I spotted it, I instantly knew what I was going to use it for. Because it blows air, you can purchase from a variety of tool manufacturers for upwards of $100 little blowing tools. And where this is handy, not really for, I don't really want it, I don't use it for cleaning off my workbench or wherever I'm at. What I use it for is after I'm sanding, rather than trying to wipe the sawdust off, what I like to do is to blow the sawdust out, because you get a much better penetration with air. I used to use my air compressor to get the sawdust out, because you get a nicer finish if you can get all of that sawdust off of there. But now with this $3 little thrift store find, I can blow all of the air out. Now, of course, there's no air, there's no sawdust on here because I've blown it off. I don't want to blow it off inside my shop. But I thought there's an interesting find that some people might be able to find in a thrift store, little compressors or little blowers for air mattresses and those sorts of things that people don't want. Maybe you already have one of these. Why not bring it into the workshop and use it for cleaning off whatever dust it is, cleaning machines, cleaning off the dust from your surfaces, all sorts of neat things that you can do with it and save yourself $100. Well, and that concludes my video for today. A few little items might give you some ideas for some other things in your workshop. Maybe come up with some special ideas, maybe some tips and tricks you'll be able to send me. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.